Today we are talking about some new tools and new record releases over there at MyHeritage. Oh my gosh, this is such a great innovation on their part and some real creative fun. So we're going to jump into all of that here coming up next. But first, if this is your first time here, my name is Connie Knox. I am a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family history research. Now, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. Genealogy TV has a website, a newsletter, and a Facebook page. Links for all of that are in the show notes below. Now, today we are joined by Daniel Horowitz. He is an employee over there at MyHeritage and a genealogy expert. So I do want to say one thing. This is not sponsored by MyHeritage. And so I thought that some of the new things, it's been a while since we've had MyHeritage on the show. So I wanted to bring them back on and give you some insight. So in advance, thank you, Daniel, for doing this interview. There is a handout for this that I have created based on what Daniel told me in the interview. And so information about the 3 different ways that you can get the handout, that information is in the description box below. All right, let's jump into it.
Our great-granddaughter, Connie Knox, wanted me to introduce the guest on her show. Please welcome Daniel Horowitz. He is going to demonstrate some of the new updates at MyHeritage and how to some of the newest automation tools like you are seeing right now. Daniel, welcome back. It's been a while since you've been here. I'm so excited. You guys have got some new tools, some new records. We're going to kind of dive into all of that. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Connie. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and with all your audience from Israel this time again.
Yes. Well, and I'm super excited to hear that you might be coming back to the US to make some of the conferences and stuff coming up in 2022. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at some of those. So we've got some things to talk about. We're going to talk about some records. We're going to talk about some of the new cool tools that we got coming up. So everybody needs to stick around because we're saving the best for last. But let's talk about the records first. What have you got that's kind of new since we last talked?
Well, since then, and it was a long time ago already, we acquired Philae, which is a French company that had a gazillion of records from France. And slowly but surely, we have been adding them to the MyHeritage search engine. So we're not killing Philae. Still, people can use it there and can search over there with no problem. But the MyHeritage search engine has a little bit of other advantages. And the first one will be that people can search in their own language, being Greek, Hebrew, Russian, Ukrainian, even not French or Latin characters at all, and still find the records. So that will be one. The second biggest advantage is that by having a family tree on MyHeritage, we're going to use the record matches technology. So you actually don't really need to search because we are going to do the search for you and we're going to push you those records that we find in these collections. And we're talking about a good couple of millions of records from France that may be related to one of your ancestors.
So you don't need to speak French.
Not at all. Oh la la.
Fantastic. All right. What else have you got in the record world?
Well, the very latest bunch of records we release also are Jewish records. And this was a partnership with Jewish Gen. Also, they have the records over there and still available. And besides everything, the technology and everything, the good thing about these records are that they go across all Europe. And I do know that a lot of people sometimes say, well, yeah, they're Jewish, they're not for me. But sometimes it actually happens the other way around. Churches and civil records include Jewish records. So they're really kind of a mix of things, handpicked, and they try to keep only into the Jewish world. But still, you never know when you're going to find a record from your relatives. So it covers like not only France, Italy, Germany, Poland, Ukrainian, Hungary, Czechia, all the countries in Eastern and Western Europe. So it's a very, very nice collection.
You do have a great collection over there of records, and some of them that you can't find anywhere else. So I applaud you guys for that.
Well,
So-
we support 42 languages, and we have services around the world, and we need to serve all those users around the world. And we try to keep a balance between what records area we are releasing every time. I think that the next area is going to be a little bit of love to Australia and New Zealand, but I'm not sure when that will happen.
I know that you support Spanish language, and I know you weren't really prepared for this question, but I get a lot of people asking me to not only do my videos in Spanish, and sadly I don't speak Spanish, but you know, do you have records for Spanish speaking Latin countries?
We have records for Spain.
Okay.
And yes, having born in Venezuela, I know very well the Latin American idiosyncrasy of the records.
Mhm.
And it's very hard to
Mhm.
try to get records from that area. We are trying, we are working in Argentina, Chile, and Guatemala, Mexico, of course, but it is hard. It is difficult.
Yeah.
We're doing whatever we can. Like just a heads up to everybody, like keep your eyes and ears open because we are releasing new collections almost on a weekly basis. And let me give you a secret, because not always we announce the records at the right time, okay?
I was just going to say, if somebody wanted to find out what records are coming up, or do you guys have a blog that announces that, or?
Yes, definitely the blog will be up, and you will be able to visit the blog, but this is like the regular page that you get when you go into the research part, and not everybody sees the bottom part of this page. But if you go down here, you have the list of recently added collections, and down here you will see first than anybody else what was just recently released. If you want to go deeper into that, we have here a link that will take you to the catalog. And on the catalog, we will list all the records that we have, and you will be able to see when and what was updated or just recently released. And this is screenshots from middle March when we updated our family trees collections and other collections that we have, and when we released also all this French and Jewish records.
Fantastic.
And if you're looking for any specific record, you just need to type here, and I'm going to use, again, because of my origins, the word Jew, and you will find all the records here related to Jewish records. So you can actually go deeper and see specific collections, and clicking on the title will actually allow you to search for that in that collection. And this is part of the Jewish Gen collection that I was talking about.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right, let's dig into dig into some of those tools that we were talking about. Like,
Yes.
I know, for example, that you have a new timeline that is kind of, yes, so simple, but yet so smart.
Amazing.
I mean, right?
Okay. Yep, sure. But let me start first with the regular view of the family tree, because what we did with the timeline is just taking this view that you're having here and turn it to the side. So like if I would be Daniel Smith here, my alter ego, I'm gonna be in the extreme right of the screen, and then my ancestors will go to the left. It's kind of contrary to what we're normally used on this pedigree view, which goes from left to right.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that I want to start here is because as you can see, I have a family tree with pictures, details, and everything looks quite good. But if I will go under family tree, I will find here the new timeline. And this will not only put everyone in context, but one of the best things I think the timeline does is alert you about possible mistakes that you may have in your family tree. Okay, so that is a help that MyHeritage is bringing you. So let me go over first in general. You can see that every person has here its own color. And if you put the mouse over, you will see the dates that you have when the person was born or died, and the age when the person was when he died. Anybody who is leaving will have the side of the area here just cut it, because this is where we are today. And you see the connectors that tells you when exactly this person was born. So in this case, Brian was born when Joseph, the father, was 38 years old. Okay, so that, yeah, that puts things in context. And you have also here in the middle some worldwide events. So you know that Brian was born actually right after World War II ends. And those are things that probably not everybody realizes. If I go down here, I just want to find an example. At this very bottom, you see that the corner is kind of fade out. And the reason for that is because for this person, I don't have a specific birthday. And I will notice only this here with this view. So I will know that I will need to research a little bit more that person. In any of those strips that you're seeing, you will notice a couple of dots on the corner. And this will allow you to go directly to the person. So this is not just a view of your tree. This is an actual way of working with your information. Now, remember I said we try to curate or help you have your tree more accurate. You will notice that I have this person right here floating. And it says here that when Joseph was born, he's not connected to his father, because actually the date that I have for the father is 60 years before he died, before Joseph was born. Now, I know that today there are scientific ways of doing that, okay? But back in 1900s, know that it has to be a mistake of somehow. You can also see by the extent of the length of the color here, it's practically impossible to have a circle over there. I should have more like a timeline. And that only tells me that I have a mistake. And if I go over in detail, you will see that obviously he could not have born in 1878 and died in 1845. Probably was more 1945. And I can correct from right here that detail. And it's very nice that MyHeritage is alerting me about those mistakes and allowing me to correct them as well.
That's fantastic.
You can expand the amount of generations that you see here. You can download it. You can share it in social media. You can print it as any other chart that you have. And you can create that for any other person just by going into the card here on the upper left corner. You can just starting to type the name of the person. We will pull those names from the family tree, and with one click, the timeline is already created right there for you.
Wow, that is very cool. I had not really gotten a chance to play with this that much, and I had not noticed the generation drop down, et cetera. So thank you so much. This is very cool.
Yes, thank you very much. And I understand that we have some other features related to this that we wanted to release. But this was kind of the very first one, and we wanted people to start using it and to start appreciating it.
So you're teasing us with more stuff to come, is what you're telling me.
I'm just saying that MyHeritage doesn't sleep that much.
All right, let's get to the good one. I was playing with this morning and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to get Daniel to tell us about LiveStory. So let's jump over there.
Well, yeah, I'm going to use first the very generic link, which is myheritage.com/LiveStory. And this will bring you to the homepage of this feature. And this feature is actually creating two types of comments. Okay, you have the people that loves it and you have the people that hates it. And this is very similar to what we did last year with Deep Nostalgia.
Yes.
But I think that once people realize the potential and all the reason behind all this, people will start liking it a little bit more. So I would like to, yeah, go ahead. I was going
to say, before we totally jump into LiveStory, people might not know what Deep Nostalgia is. Can you just briefly explain that?
Yeah, definitely. So what we did last year is offering the possibility to animate a face from any of your pictures. So once the picture have been uploaded, you could use the in-color technology if it's black and white, or restoring the colors if the colors are fade. You could enhance and repair the photo. And then the last thing is the possibility to animate that face. And what we did is kind of probably the best way to explain it, Harry Potter kind of thing, to allow the face move according to some drivers and some pre-created templates, video templates that we had. And you could actually choose also different templates and see your ancestors moving and winkling and kind of smiling. But for over a year, we were very careful not to put more than that into the pictures. And we saw that people really loved it, and people use it not only on their own family pictures, but also in very funny characters. I'm talking about the Mona Lisa or the Quaker guy from the cereals and all kind of things. And it was very good. And then we decided to go the next step. Once the photo is totally improved, and once we're able to put movement into those faces, the next step was already like the written in the wall, because the world is already using lip syncs and all this technology to create deep fakes of celebrities and other people. So we decided to take this in the good side of the technology and the good use of the technology to not only animate, but allow your ancestors to talk and to tell the story of their lives.
Nice to meet you. I am Nellie. I was born as Elizabeth Jane Cochran, one of 15 children, in Cochran's Mills, Pennsylvania, on May 5, 1864, but I am better known by my pen name, Nellie Bly. I have managed to accomplish quite a lot during my lifetime. I was a reporter who became rather famous because of my investigative journalism, working undercover from within a mental institute to expose its misconduct. I was also an industrialist, an inventor, and a novelist, but I guess more than anything else, I made my mark as an adventurer. In 1888.
So, yes, this is something that actually was created automatically. And I think this is the real shock for whoever comes here and use it first, with pictures and information from your family tree. Like in this landing page, we're inviting you to upload a picture, and then preferably a front face picture of one of your relatives, and then you can manually create the story. And this is because we understand there's a whole world out there. Not everybody has a family tree. Not everybody has even an account on MyHeritage. Very bad for you, but you should try it and do it.
So
After
you
all, we
can do
start
this
with-
without an account?
No, when you're here and you want to do it and you don't have an account, we will offer you a free account,
Okay,
okay, to do this and to try the technology.
gotcha.
And you can do a couple of live stories free. But the real magic happens if you have a family tree on MyHeritage. Because when that is the case, and let me go now as any other MyHeritage user on their photos, you have the live story section. And in here, if this is the first time that you land in this page, you will see it like this. Like we will detect people in your family that have good pictures and good facts in your family tree, and we will offer you to create their life stories. And all what it needs is just a click of the button and a couple of minutes, and the life story will be created automatically. Now, I have done already a few, and you can do as many as you want. And we will show you here all the ones that you have created. And then you simply need to click and hear the story that we have created for you. Now, that is really amazing as a first thing, but the first reaction that we're having from the people here is, wow, yes, you did great, but the facts are sounding kind of funny, or this is not what I wanted my relative to say. So no worries, you have here an edit button. And I think that this is what people really needs to spend a little bit of time on. And we will show you all the chapters and the pictures that we choose. We extract the information from the family tree and we create this story. So let's say that you want to add more information here. Very easy, just by clicking, you have 3 dots. You can either add a chapter, you can hear it, or you can edit the information. Let me see, she was wonderful. Okay, and now the story will be recreated with whatever I have added here. I have seen people writing poems. I have seen people creating a very personal and customized story of the person. They can edit the photos that we selected if you don't like this one, if you like any other one. And you can really customize this up to the voice of the person. And I do know that a lot of people were very concerned because, especially when you have an ancestor that you knew how he sounded, and obviously this is not the way they sound, but MyHeritage will offer you both female and male options for different languages. So here we're navigating in English, but English US is not the same English as Australian, Ireland, New Zealand, South African, or UK. And you can choose those voices and the speed that the person is talking to make it the most close to what you remember to your ancestor. Now, I would like here to give everybody an extra secret tip, which I don't know how many people know this, but MyHeritage supports 42 languages. And from those 42 languages, we have picked the most usage ones, the 30th most used ones, and we have voices for all those languages. So for example, if your family is coming from the Netherlands and you want to do a life story in Dutch, or you want to do it in Germany, all you need to do is once you are here and once you have done all the editing part is change the language, and then the story is going to be created in that language, or at least with that accent. So if your
Wow.
grandfather had a heavy German accent, give it a try, change it, the language, and create the story with that accent.
So if you changed it to German, would he be speaking German or would he be speaking English with a German accent?
Well, no, it will be speaking German.
Okay, just checking.
Yes. I actually have here a demo in Hebrew. I don't know how many people here will understand, but let's give it a roll for a second.
שמי ג'וזף לוי. רציתי שתדעו משהו על חיי. הסיפור שלי התחיל כשנולדתי בפולין.
I'm not going to bother you with
that's
all
impressive.
the details, but yes, and then I can go and still edit the information, and the information is written now in Hebrew based on the family tree.
Wow. That's cool.
So
That is very cool. I know some people are going to say it's kind of creepy. I was glad to see, though, that on the voices that you had children, because when I was experimenting earlier, the only photograph that I had to play with was of a child, and this deep man's voice comes on. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't working. So I was good to see
normally
male children.
We will, normally we will try the best we can to match the voice to the person. Like, for example, in my demo tree, I have all these people from the US. So it's logical to have a US voice. And the guy was died when he was in his 60s or 70s. So the voice will match. I have seen live stories created for children that passed away earlier in their life, and the voice was picked already as a child. Important to say is that, again, MyHeritage is always concerned about privacy and right usage of its technology. So the live stories that we're suggesting you are going to be always for deaf people. And the first time that you are creating one, you will also need to agree and accept the terms and conditions that will say that you will create this only for deaf people, and you will keep the information like in serious usage and not deep fake and other bad uses that you can do to the technology.
So these stories are shareable on like social media and stuff, right?
Definitely. Once you have your story created right here, and I know that a lot of people are asking, like, how can I share it? Well, we encourage you to use social media, Facebook or Twitter, but also you have a link. So just by clicking here, you get a URL, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is the URL that I'm having for this particular live story. And the good thing is that you can actually share it with anybody in the world, even people who are not MyHeritage users, who doesn't have a MyHeritage account. They still can go in, they still can see the live story, the video that you have created. You can also download it and just upload it to your blog, to your website, to your YouTube channel, wherever you want to have it.
Oh, I see some interesting opportunities. You could download each of the different stories from your family and then edit them together. And, you know, I'm a video person, so you could edit it together into a little, movie.
Well, let me go one step further, because if you have like an image of your family tree and then you make clickable areas on that tree, and every click will trigger one of those videos, you can do a kind of an interact presentation of your family in a multimedia way.
I have to say, you guys have some of the coolest tools and some of the most innovative technologies that is out there. I mean, you guys are just doing a great job. So I applaud you guys. Good job.
Thank you. We just want to have fun, and we want everybody to have fun doing their family history research.
I couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Always a pleasure, Connie. Thank you for the invitation.
My name was Francis Johnson, but I was born in Denmark as Franziska Emily Corneli Jensen.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it?
I immigrated to the United States as an infant with my parents Anker Lorentzen Jensen and Christian Beck in 1882 aboard this ship the Geyser. I married the love of my life Herman Miller Madsen in 1905, at age 24 in Laramie, Wyoming. That was one of the happiest moments of my life.
Hello. My name is Herman Miller Madsen. I was born in Laramie, Wyoming in 1880 to Danish immigrants Christopher Madsen and Laura Augusta Nielsen. My father Christopher immigrated to the United States at the age of 22, in 1873. He first traveled to Liverpool, England, then from Liverpool into New York City on this ship the SS Nevada. My mother, Laura Augusta Nielsen, arrived in the U.S. 1 year earlier, in 1872, leaving her homeland of Denmark at the age of 17. She traveled from Denmark to Germany where she stayed for 2 years. She then boarded a ship to Liverpool, England, then on to the United States arriving in 1875.
Together we had 8 children, Bernice, Alma, Doris, Leah, Donald, Nina, Francis and Lawrence.
Clearly that's not their voice, but still it's kind of fun.
Life became difficult in Laramie, so we packed up the family and moved to Los Angeles, California where we enjoyed the warmer climate.
As a little boy, I played in the front yard of our house in Laramie. That's me on the toy horse. As a young man I spent some time in the military during World War I. I was 38 at the time. Here I am on the left with some of my buddies.
After the kids were grown, Herman and I lived in a small apartment right up those stairs in the background, while some of the girls lived in a duplex in the front. This was taken in Long Beach, California. This is where we lived the rest of our lives.
This picture was taken at our 50th wedding anniversary party in 1955. Well, that's our story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, I hope you had as much fun with that as I did. Thank you, Daniel, for the updates on some of the records, and clearly some of the new tools over there are a kick to play with. As a reminder too, don't forget there is a handout for this. Again, the 3 ways to get the handouts are in the description box below the video on the YouTube channel. We will catch you next time. Enjoy the journey.
Well, that's it for this week. There are more videos on the screen now, for your binge watching pleasure. We'll see you in the next video.